What's going on, everyone? It's Bales, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Trade Talk ahead of round 17. It's a bit later than what I normally like doing these. I normally record it Tuesday night, but recording Wednesday afternoon. So this will be going up a bit later, obviously about, I think, 7 PM Eastern. So let me know in the comments below as well, actually, if you like it at this time that's a little bit later, or if you still prefer it at the usual time, sort of 5 PM, or if you prefer 6 PM. Let me know in the comments below what you guys would rather. But let's get stuck into the most traded in-out players that coaches are doing with their moves this week. So I'm interested to see. I've actually haven't had a look at this really since, I think, Sunday night. I had a quick look at the early ones, but I haven't looked at it since. So coming in as the most traded in player at the moment is Ben Keys. Now, obviously, there'll be a lot of forwards coming in this week, potentially defenders as well, or mid. Okay, I should have said it. Premiums will be coming in because obviously it's the end of the year, but also Josh Dunkley has been officially ruled out by Brisbane, so he won't be playing this week. So I think it's a must trade for coaches. This time you've only probably got one rookie. Maybe if Sheldrick fails, then if Sheldrick does well, you can maybe hold Dunkley. But I think in pretty much every case, Dunkley's a trade, and a lot of these players will be forwards and even midfielders and defenders if you've got flexibility. So Ben Keys is the most traded in, 4.1k jumping on him. And that's surprising. Normally you see the top couple of people being traded in at 5, 6, 7k, but it's low actually. So Ben Keys. Now, he obviously only had one CBA last week compared to previous weeks where he had like 70%, 60% and whatever. So I think his role's not going to be what he played at the start of the year and then the back end of last year where he's playing that deep forward role and like tagging maybe a defender. He's getting up the ground, playing as an extra midfielder if he's not in the CBAs. If not, he is in the CBAs. So I think it had a little bit to do with the fact it was North Melbourne and it was that matchup, so they didn't need him in the CBAs as much. But this week, coming up against Merritt and Parrish and Shield and Stringer Caldwell, guys like that, I think Keys will be in there a bit more this week. So I expect Keys to have more CBAs, and I think he'll still score well. So I don't mind him as a target as well. Again, you're bringing him in at this point to be a top 6 forward if you think he's all going to be around that mark, and I think he will. So I like bringing him in. Harry Himmelberg, 3.8k jumping on him. I might be in the minority here. I'm still not sold on the Himmelberg trade-in. So I can see scenarios where it would work if you can't afford maybe a guy that we're going to speak about next or a couple other guys. You could look at it. I'm just nervous with Whitfield coming back in. I know Cummings been playing on a wing. I don't know if I see all of Haynes, Himmelberg, Whitfield, Ash all being back in defence, and then you're going to have Cumming on a wing. I just don't see it. So if Himmelberg was to play in defence again this week, I'd be a lot more confident because Whitfield's back in the side. I'm just not as confident. I don't know. Maybe that's just personal preference, and he's still cheap. If you are confident he's got that defensive role, then I don't mind the trade because obviously he's good value. I'm just still a little bit hesitant myself to pull the trigger and bring him in. I might want to watch one more week, and if he goes well, I might bring him in potentially next week if that's something I'll look at. But I don't hate it. I'm personally just not going to go there. Callum Mills, however, though, I'm a big fan of this week. I think he ticks a lot of boxes. So 3,500 coaches jumping on him. 12 people trading him out as well, which is surprising. But I like the fact, one, he's got a great match against Richmond this week. Chad Warner's going to be out for, I don't know the exact time frame with Chad Warner, but I know he's definitely not playing this week. I'm actually just going to check my phone on the injury report to see. Because I looked at it yesterday, I just didn't quite look at Chad Warner. But I think he's going to be missing a couple of weeks, which in that case, Mill's going to be playing inside midfield. I don't see them moving. I think Sydney still believe they can play finals, so they're going to want to get one of their captains in the middle and one of their best midfielders. So Chad Warner is listed as TBC, so that could be 2, 3, 4 weeks. We don't know exactly the extent of the calf injury, but I like Mills. Again, is he going to average 110, 115? He can, but I don't think he will. I think it's more realistic to see him as a 100 to 105 player, and at price at 653, I believe that's is it like 80 or 85 or something he's priced at. It's a good price. You're getting about maybe 15 points on top of him. 15 points sort of value and potentially 20 plus. So I do like him, especially if that's getting a final rookie off field. And in a lot of cases, some coaches might be going like maybe a Dunkley down to a Mills and then using that cash on top of like a Ben Hobbs and getting a premium midfielder or vice versa. So I do like that move, and I'm looking at that this week potentially. Liam Henry, nearly 3,000 jumping on him. He's been great last 2 weeks, right? He, for me, isn't it's not the time of year to be bringing in a Liam Henry, because I put him in the same category a little bit like the Sam Flanders, where they're not going to be top of their line like Mills won't be a top 8 mid, but you get what I mean, where he can put up top 8 numbers. And like Himmelberg, we've seen in his defensive role, can put up top 6 defender or forward numbers, right? And average near 100. I don't think he will, but we've seen it, right? Henry, we haven't seen it before, and wingers, we don't like wingers for fantasy because they can be very hot and cold. He could easily drop a 50 this week, or he could drop a 120. That's the way wingers work. So for me, I'm not sold. If you are, you can jump on and hide behind the fact that he's only got an 8 break even, so he's going to be making cash essentially regardless. So if you're keen, you can jump on. I probably just won't be, though. I'd rather get in a guy that's probably a bit more assured. I'd rather pay the extra, 70-odd K to get a Callum Mills in. That's what I'd prefer there. And I'd even prefer probably Himmelberg, who is Himmelberg's a very similar price, isn't he? Yeah, he's only about 20k more, so I prefer Himmelberg and Mills over Henry. Doherty, yeah, great upgrade target, nearly 3,000 jumping on him. Obviously, we know that he's going to be a top 6 defender. He sort of just got his 113, did his job last week, and I think that's what he's going to be pretty much rest of the year, about that 110 mark, maybe a little bit, maybe close, maybe it could be 105 to 110, and we know he can push 115. So, yeah, I do like him as a premium upgrade, especially if you've got like a Sheasel, flick him forward, go Dunkley to Doherty. I do like that move. Elijah Hewitt is the pick of downgrades this week. I don't know if many coaches will be downgrading this week, unless you maybe got all rookies off field, and then you sort of can make a shuffle and cash up for next week. Whereas I'm probably in a situation where I've got to go a rookie up to someone and then Dunkley to a premium. So Hewitt I was getting Hewitt before I saw Dunkley was ruled out. So he'd be my pick of the rookies this week. Sam Banks, 2,500. I've jumped on him again. If you've already got Hewitt, I think Sam Banks is probably your next best bet. He's got defender mid flexibility, 200k. We've been looking for a defender downgrade. I probably could have got him last week over Mullen. Hopefully Mullen comes in at some point anyway. But if you haven't got Hewitt already, I'd be getting him. I always like to wait on 200k rooks, but at this time of the year, if you've got, say, Hewitt, it's fine to cash down if your bench is looking quite healthy. Because even if he gets dropped next week, it's not going to be a huge deal because you've already got cover there anyway. And a lot of people got Chesser as well. So if you've got Chesser and Banks on your bench, then that's fine. Jack Williams, again, if you've got a Samson Ryan on your bench, you could easily just downgrade to him. 202k, essentially basement, might get a game or two moving forward, so could make cash, who knows. But, yep, if that's a downgrade, don't mind it. Stephen Cornelio, nearly 2,000 jumping on him. I'm looking at him this week, obviously for the Dunkley move. A lot of I still prefer, if you don't have a Rosie, a Goulden, a Taranto, a lot of people got Taranto anyway, even a Butters. McRae's interesting. Cornelio and McRae, they're going to be sort of two guys you could look at. But Cogs is a good bet. He's been consistent all year, just getting his hundreds and just sort of going about his business. He's got 300s in his last 4. Hawthorn this week, good matchup. Again, he's just solid. So again, it's not really a quote-unquote sexy pick. It's not really that's going to blow. Like, I don't see him going 140s constantly. But he hasn't sort of cracked a 140-odd score. I think he only had that one score over 120. I think it was it 135 in round 6 against the Lions. So he could pop at one of those or two on the run home. What's their run like? Not too bad actually, especially the next 3 as well. I'm still not really concerned with the Adelaide matchup. I still think it's not a bad matchup. But yeah, the next 3 pretty good. Bulldogs, Sydney, Port, a little bit tougher, and then Essendon, Carlton finished the year. But again, he's solid, so I do like him, and he won't get tagged either. Bond, yeah, love it. If you can pay up for him, he's great. Just under 2k doing that. He just ticked over the $1 million mark last week, and again, another 116, just as consistent as they come this year. Again, look at that, 1 score under 110 since round 8, and that's a 108, so it's ridiculous his consistency. He's playing high game time as well. I think there was somewhere around here where he had a bit of a niggle, like a knee niggle. I think it was did he get injured against the Crows or something? When he got tagged by Pedler, I think. And then obviously a little bit lower game time for these weeks here, but then back up to high 80s in the last 2. So, yep, I like Bont as an option. Brad Crouch, yep, I think he's locked in the top 8 based on what he's been doing lately, up to a 105 average now, 137 last week, highest score of the year. 5 scores in a row over 109. Yep, I like it if you can bring him in as an upgrade or a sideways switch from a Dunkley. Lockie Neal, you'll get the sugar hit this week of West Coast. I'm still just not sure if he's going to be a top 8 mid, but if he's going to perform like he has done since round 9 and put up these constant hundreds, I think he can go at about that 105, which is maybe only 5 points outside the top 8, because most of the top 8 mids will probably go at 110. So Yeah, I don't mind Neil, especially against West Coast this week. Sorry, just got a bit of a blocked up nose. Just had to clear that. Didn't want anyone hearing that. But anyway, Tim English, again, yeah, if you got a Briggs or even a Darcy Cameron, yep, getting English and just biting the bullet and getting him in, I like that. So a few coaches are doing that this week, just under 1,500. Ryan Marrick as well, not a bad downgrade option. -2 break even, so he's got a low break even than Hewitt. I'd still prefer Hewitt. I think Hewitt's more locked in to be staying in the team for the rest of the year. But if you need a forward downgrade, he's obviously your guy there. And then obviously you've got these forwards, Connor Rosie, Errol Goulden, Zach Butters, coaches are bringing them in. Sean Darcy, I don't hate either, but I still think it's Marshall and English. I'd just be targeting those two. So, yeah, but yeah, Rosie, Goulden, Butters, if you don't have these guys, they're good options for Dunkley. So let's look at the most traded out players this week. Dunkley, yeah, obviously no surprise, 12.1k jumping off him, and I dare say that number will probably increase to maybe 20k, maybe even reach 30k by the time lockout lifts, because coaches are going to be jumping off guys that are they're out for a week, just because you just want points on fill at this point. A lot of people have only got one rookie, maybe two. If you've got two, you could argue for a hold. But I remember Selby tweeted early in the week, like George Hewitt last year was caught cuff. He ended up missing, like, what was it, 3-4 weeks. So we don't know, and I don't think they've locked in Dunkley next week either. So he could be out for multiple weeks. So I'd still trade anyway. But yeah, I think it's time to go. And the good thing is he's got money on his head. He's, 985, 150 break even. So even when he comes back, you can wait a week or two for him maybe to drop a little bit in cash. But yeah, obviously we're going to want him back here as well. But yeah, I think it is a trade. Ben Hobbs can go as well. Darcy Parish came in and Hobbs had his lowest score since he's been back in the side. So yeah, I'd be moving him on. Again, he's at a good price at, what is it? Yeah, 718. You can go up to 140k, you get yourself a Cogs. Near 200k, you get yourself, or it might be around 200k, you get yourself like a Goulden or a Rosie or a Butters or someone around there, that 920 odd, 930 range. So, yep, I would move him on. Same with Bailey Humphrey as well. He's a rookie. Obviously, his scores of late haven't been too great. Only a 45 last week, a 30 the week before. Didn't he drop another poor one? No, 75. But yeah, two bad scores back to back. He's not got that midfield role. Took May back this week as well, another midfielder. So I wouldn't. I'd be trading him. Nat Fife going to be out for, I think, for most of the year, if not for the rest of the year. So he's got to go as well. Harvey Harrison can go. I don't see him cracking the best 22 again. But then again, what's he, 291? He's not a must trade. If he's a sub again, you could look at moving on. I don't think he's a must trade, but if he's the what gets you, if you go him down, that gets you the extra money to go someone out, he can go. Kieran Briggs can go as well. I know that it's only one bad score, but again, Hawthorn can be restrictive for rucks. Reeves has kept a few ruckmen to low scores. He's got Riley O'Brien and Jared Witts his next three. So a little bit of a tough run coming up for Briggsy there. He's been great as well. Up to nearly 200k. Actually, was it over? No, yeah, nearly 300k actually, sorry. So, yeah, he's. I would just move off. You don't want him to undo all the good work. If he drops another 60 this week, then you're losing cash. He doesn't have to go, but if you can get English in, I'd be biting the bullet and doing that trade. Luke Jackson can go as well. He doesn't have, obviously, the role. A 35 last week, so we know that if he doesn't have the number one ruck role, he can drop really poor scores. He's been very good for most of the year, even in this role, but I'd be trying to target a top six forward. Like less than 100k, you get yourself a Cogs. 200, less than 200k, you get yourself a Rosie, Butters, Goulden, guys like that. So or even a McRae as well. So I'd be jumping off Jackson. Will Day, I'm less inclined to trade him, but I think if you can get him up to someone and he's one of your issues, I think he can go. We have seen this year that he's not going to be a top six defender. He's only had the two big scores in round 3 and then round 15. He had the 101, then the 100 in round 7 and then rounds 11. But besides that, it's a lot of 90s, 80s and 70s. So if you can get yourself in a Doherty, if you have a Dawson, a Dacos, guys like that, they're going to be putting potentially 20 points on him each week. And that's a good upgrade. So if you don't have any rookies, if you don't maybe have a Cameron or a Hobbs or something like that, then Will Day can go. I'd still prefer to get rid of Hobbs and Cameron over Day, but just sort of team dependent. And how your team's looking. Darcy Cameron, good matchup this week against English, which sounds obviously weird because English has been so good, but he does give up points to Ruckman. I'm still wanting to hold Cameron. I don't think he's a must trade. I know his break-even's now shot back up to 91, but that's his only poor score in his matches so far. He did put a 106 up against O'Brien, the 96 against the Melbourne duo. English this week, he does get points. Wits is a hard ruck. That's a hard ruck matchup. So that's why I obviously put the dud up last week. Darcy next week, that could be a week where you want to get... Next week, you probably want to get rid of him there. But it sort of depends what your team's like. I'd be happy to keep for a week. But again, if you don't have any issues and he's your biggest issue and you can get him up to a top 6 forward or an English or something, then I'm all for it. So he can go, doesn't have to stay. Seamus Mitchell's been very, very good. One of the ones I missed, and a lot of people missed because we thought he wasn't going to make the squad. What round was that? That was that the game? I think it was either Crows. I think it was a Crows game or the Bulldogs game. One of the two. Besides being subbed out in this game, he's been pretty solid. But again, he's not going to be a top 6 defender. He's obviously a rookie. So I'd be moving. If you can get him up to a top 6, I would be doing that. 56 break even you can hold if you... You've got other issues, but I'd be happy to trade. Jaden Short obviously going to be out for a while. You can trade him, and George Wardlaw as well. You can trade him. Matt Johnson's the interesting one here, actually, that I'm looking potentially at trading, which will probably lead me into my trades as well. But he's got a 20 break even, but 28 break even. So he's been very good besides that 37 he got against the Giants, 93, 99, 87. It's hard because it's like, do you trade Johnson or do you trade like a Darcy Cameron or Ben Hobbs? Even though he's got low break-even, I'm still be happy to get rid of Johnson first because if you can get him up to Mills, you're getting an upgrade regardless. I think worst case it'd be a 5-10 point difference between Mills and Johnson and that. But at the end of the day, Johnson we saw a few weeks ago can drop a 30. He could drop a 30 this week, make yourself 5-6k, and then you've got to trade him out anyway. So there's no guarantee he's going to keep making a heap of cash. If he keeps going at these 80s, then he will. But there's no guarantees. So if he's on field for you, and let's say you got Sheldrick emergency on your bench loophole on the Thursday night, he goes sub 70. I wouldn't be risking Johnson and then not getting that upgrade. So I'd be happy to go Johnson up to Mills or Johnson even across potentially Himmelberg or even up if you can get him up further. I'd be happy to do that. I know he's got a low break-in, but I'd be happy to trade, especially if he's on your field. If he's on your bench, you could always keep him on your bench. And yeah, but then again, he's a lot of money to keep on your bench, so you could just downgrade him and get a lot of cash. So I'd be happy to move off, but I think it's team-dependent if you do or don't. So they're the most traded-out players. My trade... Oh, actually, I'll tell my trades in a sec. I'll go through my top 5 options to trade in this week. So... It's getting a bit harder to think of guys to trade in and out just because it's going to be matchup dependent. It's team dependent as well, so it is tougher. But I think my number one trade-in option this week, I guess if you don't have... It's very hard because... Most people are going to be trying to go for a premium forward, and I'm sort of trying to cater to everyone, but obviously a lot of people have already got Rosie, Goulden, a lot of people got Butters as well, so it's sort of hard to put them in the top 5, but they would be there because they're the forward upgrades, and that's probably who you guys would be looking at. I'd probably say number 1 would be... Is it Ben Keys? It could be Ben Keys, he's cheap. Sorry, I'll scrap that. For me, my number 1 pick this week is Callum Mills. I'll put Callum Mills at number 1. I like the value. I think the role's going to be there. I think his scoring's going to be there. Like, again, a couple of little things on Thursday night went against him. He could have scored a little bit some extra points. So I'd be going Mills at 1 just for the value. Again, he's team dependent. If you've got, like I remember Jake was saying in Hat Chat, all his players are above 700k, right? You don't have to go someone down to Mills to then go up. You can go rookie down, keep that player if you think they're going to be sort of close to top of their line and go up. But it's a lot of people have still got one rookie on field, so they're going to be going up to like a rookie downgrade then up to Mills. Or a lot of people got Dunkley, so some people might go Dunkley down to Mills, but use that money on top of a Hobbs and go up to a Butters or someone like that. So in that scenario, I do like that. Or even like a Dunkley to Mills, then a Briggs to English or something like that. I like that move. That's why I'd put Callum Mills at number 1. I think I would then have Ben Keys at number 2. Priced under 800k, a lot of these top forwards are above 850. Obviously, Cogs is the cheapest there. Then you got McRae just under 900. Then you got all those other guys are over 900. But you could be getting a guy that's at least 80k cheaper than the cheapest, and then over 100k cheaper than all the other guys that can go at 95 to 105 for the rest of the year. We've seen obviously since he's been more in this midfield role. Look at that, 3 tons in 5 games, a 99 there as well, and a 90 when you take Dacos. Crow's got a pretty nice run as well. Obviously, Port is a bit difficult there, but the other ones I'm not too afraid of, especially with Key. He's not going to get any attention or anything, so I like him as an option if you still think he can be sort of around that top sort of 6 forward. So I do like him. I think I'd still have Doherty there at 3. I like Doherty being that upgrade target if you're looking for a defender. A lot of people got Dacos and Dawson already, so I'm probably not going to include those because a lot of people have got them, but Doherty would be my pick there, averaging 107, and I think he can go 110 for the rest of the year. So I would like Doherty if you don't have him already. I think next, I'll put Tim English here next because a lot of people still don't, a few people still don't have an English. So I'd put English there. I just think it's time. This is the week to bite the bullet, get him in. So I'd have English at number, what is it, number 4? I'd have English at 4. I'd just bite the bullet. Because he's got a good match against Collingwood this week, could go big. And yeah, if you've got a Briggs or a Cameron, I'd be happy to go up. He's under $1 million, so, and I don't see him getting a heap cheaper because 125 break even, we know he can hit that on any week. So I like him. And then at number 5, that's probably where I'd almost have all those forwards, would I? I'm just having a look through here. Actually, I'll put McRae there. I'll put Jack McRae. He's actually surprisingly not, I said there he is, so just under 1,000. I'll probably put Jack McRae there. He's been very consistent, especially in this forward role, not having as many CBAs. Look at that, he's gone 5 of his last 6 have been hundreds. That 83 we got tagged by Shields. He's getting his marks. He's getting some tackles as well. And he's just getting involved. He's getting his touches. And he got midfield time as well. So if that continues, I could see him being a lot better than what he's at. A bit of a pod as well, which is also a positive. 13.5% owned, but I think it's a lot lower, sort of in the top 100,000, 10k. So I do like McRae, so I'll probably put him at number 5. Did I say Cogs was in the top 5? I don't know if I did actually, because I went Mills 1, Keys 2, Doherty 3, English 4, and then I went what's his name? 5. Who did I go? Bloody hell, who did I go? 5. Short-term memory, I just completely forgot there. Oh, McRae. Sorry, of course. Yeah, bloody idiot. But yeah, so Cornelio would be probably, it'd be McRae / Cornelio as my 5th one because Cornelio's been consistent all year. So I do like him as well. Hawthorn, good matchup this week. So could get a, could actually put up a high score this week and go over 120. So they would be my top 5. My trades this week. At this stage, I'm looking at going a Dunkley to across to Cornelio, maybe about 100k. Then I'm going Johnson up to Callum Mills. That's what I'm looking at. That gets my final rookie off field. I've still got a Windhager on the bench. I've still got Sheldrick on the bench. So I've still got some money on the bench to either like loop and see what they do, or downgrade in future weeks. To if Mills was to fail, I can go Mills up to a top 8 midfielder. I can go a Darcy Cameron up to a top 6 forward. I've still got money to do moves, which is good. If Sheldrick pumps out a 80 plus or even a 70 plus, a good score, I'm tempted to go Lockie Ash out instead of Johnson. Get that cash gen from Johnson this week. Have Johnson or Sheldrick on field, and then go an Ash to a McRae, and then go and potentially get Callum Mills still. Like get a Mills and a McRae instead, because I'm keen on McRae. I don't mind getting McRae as not in this week. So McRae or Cornelio are probably going to come in for Dunkley this week, and Mills is very likely to come in for that midfielder. So that's what I'm looking at doing. The good thing is it's in either trade scenario, I'm getting Mills anyway, so I'm fine locking him in tomorrow night for that early Thursday night game. So, well, not early Thursday night, but yeah, obviously Thursday night. So anyway, that's it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are doing your moves this week. If you've got any trade questions, put them in the comments below and I'll get to them when I can. I'll try my best to get to them before the game tomorrow night, but I do leave for Perth tomorrow afternoon, so we get mid-afternoon, so hopefully I'll get to them before then, but if I don't, I do apologise in advance. Getting prepared for Perth for 11 days. Looking forward to that. If you are in Perth, make sure you head down to Varsity at Northbridge. Me and Tim will be there. I think Jep's also going to be there, maybe even Urban as well. So a few fantasy guys, and also obviously all the gang that are always there every Friday. So make sure you head down there. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you do leave a like on the video. I think last video we hit on the trade talk was over 50, so if we can get over 50 again, that would be awesome. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. We hit 1,200 subscribers, so appreciate all the support. Next stop is 1,300, so we're 99 away from that. So if you haven't subscribed, bottom right hand corner, make sure you get involved. Turn notifications on so you don't miss when I go live or upload any other content in the future. And all my social media links are in the description below. Go and follow me across all the socials on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. So no watch alongs this week. Obviously being a purchase, I think it's just going to be too difficult. If I do a watch along, I'll tweet out. I'll post on the socials. That's another reason why you should follow across socials so you know when I'm uploading content. But it's going to be a bit hard. So it'll just be the Twitter space on the Friday. So that'll still be live streamed on here. So if you've got questions, we'll be answering them there. We'll still be doing the Sunday night, obviously, Twitter space with Tim as well. And I'll be answering questions post that. And then the round review and trade talk as always. But just the watch alongs probably won't be for the next couple of weeks. So, but yeah, have a good rest of your week, guys. And yeah, we'll chat to you on Friday night for the Twitter space. So have a good week, guys. And chat soon. I'm out. Cheers.